Last night, President Biden said that he is open to taking a cognitive test, but he needs to hear from a doctor first. Watch.
I'm surrounded by good docs. If they think there's a problem, I promise you, or even if they don't think it's a problem, they think I should have a neurological exam again, I'll do it. But no one's suggesting that to me now. Did you have 7 docs? Did you have 2? Who'd you have? Did you do this? I am not opposed if my doctors tell me I should have another neurological exam. I'll do it.
Wow, what a conversation to be having. Joining me now is Maryland Congressman Andy Harris, a member of the House Appropriations Committee and the GOP Doctors Caucus. He worked as a physician at the Johns Hopkins Hospital and was a medical officer in the Navy Reserve. Congressman, thanks very much for being here this morning. What is your assessment of Joe Biden and your reaction to all of this?
Well, look, I think pretty clearly, Maria, America sees it plainly. This president, something's just not right. He needs to take a cognitive exam. I would suggest the cognitive exam should be given at night, not in the middle of the day, because the president himself says he's not sure he functions well after 8 p.m. You know, with the time difference between here and Europe, you know, if something bad happens in Europe, it's the middle of the night here. We need to know that this president can function 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I think in most people's minds, it's not clear that he can.
Well, at the risk of asking you to diagnose the president, which I'm not asking you to do, can you give us a sense of what you believe the path is on something like a disorder that seems to be playing out in plain sight for all of us to see? Do things like this get worse? Can they just stabilize and stay status quo in terms of the disorder that you see from a doctor's perspective?
Look, Maria, the fact of the matter, this is not a common cold he has. This is not something that we call acute. This is a chronic problem. And no matter what the diagnosis, and they're given the symptoms you see, the Parkinsonian, things like that, symptoms, all the possible diagnoses are all chronic diagnoses that eventually get worse. They don't get better. There's nothing that's going to get better here. It's only going to get worse. Again, Americans see this in their own families. They see this in their neighborhoods. They see that growing old is a progressing, I won't say disease, but it's progressing. And we need to know the exact state the president's in. Now, the other thing we need to know, and I think they need to come clean with us, is does the president use any medications at any time to appear to make this better? Because, again, when this president's going to be asked to make snap judgments, very, very critical judgments, we need to know if he has all his faculties about him. Yeah,
I think this is a good point because he did look better last night. I don't know that he convinced anybody that he's up to the job, but he looked better than he looked in the debate. The administration, though, Congressman, is pushing back on all of this, and especially the reports that a Parkinson's specialist visited the White House at least 8 times since the middle of 2023. The White House claims that the doctor only saw the president for his annual physical, and he was there to visit other patients. The Wall Street Journal points out that the White House has not made Biden's doctor, Kevin O'Connor, available for a briefing, pointing out both Trump and Obama's doctors spoke to reporters at various points. Now you've got the Oversight Committee and James Comer wanting Kevin O'Connor to testify in front of his committee. What could he learn from Kevin O'Connor if he's under oath?
Well, hopefully you can learn now what the real story is here. And that's what this is about, Maria. The fact of the matter is this has been an attempt to cover this up by the White House for months at least. Yeah. You know, I'm going to campaign from the basement isn't going to work in 2024. I think Americans realize that they need a president who, again, has their full faculties 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And honestly, yesterday's press conference was not that reassuring. The president made several mistakes that indicate that he may not be up to what it takes to lead this country.
Yeah, well, all I could say is no wonder America is in decline and the rest of the world sees America that way. Apparently, he has not had a cabinet meeting since October of 2023. I mean, I find that stunning. No cabinet meeting since 2023 in October. No wonder no one knew that Lloyd Austin was missing until we find out that he's in the hospital because they're not meeting.
That's right, and we should have an explanation for that. You know, the president's cabinet's important. It's set in law. I mean, what's the reason this cabinet's not meeting? Is it to hide the fact that Joe Biden, off a teleprompter, doesn't do very well?
Yeah, Congressman, thank you very much for being here this morning. We'll continue to follow your work. Andy Harris joining us this morning.